As far as we know, Mr. Chair, China does not allow a dual citizenship.
Hindi ko po maalala kung anong year, pero nung bata ako, alam ko may Chinese passport po ako.
Let's say in this case, a Chinese citizenship, which under Chinese laws does not allow dual citizenship. What is your citizenship?
When Mr. Bigay was born, what was his citizenship? Pursuant to our laws. PI at DFA, could you please answer that?
He's Chinese, Your Honor.
Based on the birth certificate, Your Honor, where the mother is Filipino and the father is unknown, then Mr. Bigay is a Filipino citizen based on the birth certificate, Your Honor.
Yet you use your Chinese passport whenever you go to China.
Yes po.
Okay, no, I'm asking this because you're both Filipino and Chinese at the same time. So example, if you're both Filipino and Chinese at the same time and all of you own the corporation, then it would violate the 40% or the 60% ownership of Filipinos rule. Diba? Would you agree, Mr. Bigay?
I'm not sure po about
You're not sure? Okay. Kasi parang sa akin, although dual siya, DFA, ano bang rules on dual citizenship?
The Philippines allow dual citizenship, sir, but it also depends on the other country. If the other country allows dual citizenship.
Okay, does China allow dual
As far as we know, Mr. Chair, China does not allow a dual citizenship.
The Chinese passport if they are not allowing dual citizenship? Henry Bigay.
If I may, would you know kung ano requirements the Chinese government would ask from you if you're applying for a Chinese passport?
Hindi ko po alam, Chair. Ang nagawa ko pa lang po is renewal lang po.
Kailan ka na-issuehan ng passport? Anong year?
Hindi ko po maalala kung anong year, pero nung bata ako, alam ko may Chinese passport po ako.
At sabi mo, nag-renew ka recently.
Last year lang po.
Last year ka nag-renew. I-renew mo yung Chinese passport mo. So, DFA, di ba, when you would like to apply for a passport, the first document that they would ask is birth certificate. So, in that case, dahil nabigyan siya ng Chinese passport, edi ang citizenship mo ay Chinese. Kasi nabigyan ka ng Chinese passport eh.
Hindi ko po alam. Ang alam ko lang po is that ko yung nag-apply sa akin. At
Sa China ba, pwede kang applyan ng father mo? Ng passport?
possible po. Hindi ko kasi po alam yung sagot eh. So most probably, kaya po ako nakakuha.
Immigration, yes please.
Your Honor, according to the records of the Bureau of Immigration, Mr. Henry Kayang started using his Chinese passport way back. His first use of the Chinese passport was in March 25, 2004. And as far as we are concerned, he is still registered. Again, he is still registered as a native born with the Bureau of Immigration.
Oh, native born siya.
What is native born?
Native born is eligible to apply for a passport, Filipino passport.
If you're native born, sir, you still have to undergo a naturalization or any other process before you can apply for a Philippine passport.
He's a Filipino. So he's not a Filipino?
Sa record po namin, sir, native born yung nakasulat, and then active pa po yung record, hindi na-cancel. Kapag po nag-apply ka ng naturalization, be it administrative or through the regional trial court, they usually cancel the registration
For sure.
once it is granted, Your Honor.
For sure, Mr. Henry Bigay did not apply for naturalization. He bases being a Filipino on the birth certificate, having a Filipino mother. So, doon siya naging Filipino. But, unfortunately, yung sinasabi mo applies that he is not a Filipino.
Your Honor, kahit na po Filipino yung mother niya, Chinese yung father, kailangan pa po niyang tumaan ng recognition para makilala siya bilang Filipino. As things stand now, valid pa po yung ano niya.
And that's the reason why in this birth certificate,
the name of the father was nilagay nila is unknown.
I haven't seen the birth certificate.
It's here. And dito po, nakalagay, unknown yung father. Sige, go, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sige, Congressman Flores.
Mr. Chair, this is where the confusion is, di ba? DFA issues him a Filipino passport because he claims to be a Filipino citizen. Yet another government agency has him registered as a non-Filipino citizen, like the BI, because he's just reported as a native born. Diba? So, isn't this where the confusion lies? Diba? Parang, why would a government agency recognize him as a Philippine citizen while another government agency recognizing him as an alien or a non-Filipino citizen? No, DOJ, I'll get your opinion na lang po. No? If a person claims to be a Filipino citizen but has another citizenship, like let's say in this case, a Chinese citizenship, which under Chinese laws does not allow dual citizenship, what is your citizenship?
Well, if that would be the case, Your Honor, he would be either a Filipino or a Chinese. He
cannot be both. Di ba?
Yes, that
He cannot be both.
That would be the effect, sir.
Unless he apply for, DOJ, unless he applies for naturalization.
Yes, Your Honor. And
But is there any time element for the application of the naturalization?
well,
Mr. Chair, ako pa, dahil lang.
Sige, go ahead.
Wala lang. Ito ang ano ko example. Now, what is the effect of a person, a Filipino citizen, acquiring another citizenship in a country that does not recognize dual citizenship?
Mr. Chair, let me just clarify, sir. As far as the Philippines is concerned, we recognize dual citizenship, but the other country might not recognize both Filipino and for in this case Chinese citizenship. In which case they will ask the person either to choose a Filipino or Chinese citizenship. But let me, if I may clarify, sir, that based on our record, when Mr. Bigay applied for the renewal of his Philippine passports, we asked in the form, we asked him if how he acquired his Philippine citizenship, and he said by birth. And there's another question there: are you a holder of a foreign passport? And he said no.
He said no.
Have you ever? Yes.
But he answered no.
He answered no. That is why
He answered
with
no,
the birth certificate and and all the IDs concerned that he submitted in the passport application, and considering that PFA was not made to know that he holds another passport.
Let me cut you there. Had you known that he is a holder of a Chinese passport and that he's a citizen of another country, what would you have done?
Deny the issuance of a
See?
passport.
Yes, Congressman Ako.
When Mr. Bigay was born, what was his citizenship? When Mr. Bigay was born, what was his citizenship? Pursuant to our laws. PI at DFA, could you please answer that?
He's Chinese, Your Honor.
Based on the birth certificate, Your Honor, where the mother is Filipino and the father is unknown, then Mr. Biday is a Filipino citizen, based on the birth certificate, Your Honor.
Sabi nun.
Mr. Chair, it's the Philippine Constitution, Your Honor, the 1987 Constitution.
And may I know the specific provision of that constitution?
It's on the provision on citizenship, Your Honor, wherein it describes who it
I am here in front of me, Section 1 of Article 4 of Citizenship.
And I think the applicable provision is those born before January 17, 1973. So there's a timeline. Those born before January 17, 1973 of Filipino mothers who elect Philippine citizenship upon reaching the age of majority. Now, in the case of Mr. Bigay, he was born 1992 and therefore this provision of the Constitution is not applicable. So ano ang basis natin ngayon? Bakit Pilipino siya?
I think the next provisions, Your Honor, that says when whose mother or father is a Filipino citizen. Your Honor, as far as I remember, Your Honor.
Anong paragraph? Those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines. Pero bakit sinasabi ngayon ng na Chinese siya? Ng BI.
Sir.
Hey, you're both government agencies.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify matters. Sir, I'd like to emphasize that Mr. Bigay is registered as Henry Kayang with the Bureau of Immigration. So it's not an automatic process by which if a foreign national born in the Philippines is automatically included and registered with the Bureau. This means that somebody registered him with the Bureau of Immigration after he was born. And then based on our record, Your Honor, he only started using his Philippine passport on March 5, 2024.
Mr. Henry Bigay, Pilipino ka, di ba?
Opo.
Okay. Ano passport mo?
Pilipino po.
Wala kang Chinese passport?
Meron din po.
Oh. Paano ka naging Pilipino kung dalawa passport? Di ba, when you would like to apply for a passport, the first document that they would ask is birth certificate. So in that case, dahil nabigyan siya ng Chinese passport, edi ang citizenship mo ay Chinese.
Your Honor, according to the records of the Bureau of Immigration, Mr. Henry Kayang started using his Chinese passport way back. His first use of the Chinese passport was in March 25, 2004. And as far as we are concerned, he is still registered. Again, he is still registered as a native born with the Bureau of Immigration.
If a person claims to be a Filipino citizen, but has another citizenship, like let's say in this case, a Chinese citizenship, which under Chinese laws does not allow dual citizenship, what is your citizenship?
If I may clarify, sir, that based on our record, when Mr. Bigay applied for the renewal of his Philippine passports, we asked it in the form. We asked him if how he acquired his Philippine citizenship, and he said by birth. And there's another question there: are you a holder of a foreign passport? And he said no.
He said no.
Have you ever? Yes.
But he answered no.
He answered.
Had you known that he is a holder of a Chinese passport and that he's a citizen of another country, what would you have done?
Deny the issuance of a
See?
passport.
I'd like to emphasize that Mr. Bigay is registered as Henry Kayang with the Bureau of Immigration. So it's not an automatic process by which if a foreign national born in the Philippines is automatically included and registered with the Bureau. This means that somebody registered him with the Bureau of Immigration after he was born.
Congressman Fernandez, may tatanong lang ako kay Mr. Henry Bigay. Mr. Henry Bigay, Pilipino ka, di ba?
Opo.
Okay. Ano passport mo?
Pilipino po.
Wala kang Chinese passport?
Meron din po.
Oh. Paano ka naging Pilipino kung dalawa passport mo?
Sa pagkaalam po po, dual citizenship po.
Hindi, ang dual citizenship, isa lang naman ang passport. DFA, can you clarify? Mr. Bigay has two passports. In fact, I have a picture of your Chinese passport dito. bang i-flash niya yan? Cheska, paki-flash na nga yung picture niya. Confirm lang natin. Kamukha mo ano eh. January 15, 1992 ka pinanganak, tama? Oo, January 15. Bakit dalawa passport mo? Kailangan mo ba ng dalawang passport?
Sa pagkaalam ko po, nung bata ako, kinuha na ko ng tatay ko ng passport para makatravel po ng China. Dahil
Are you telling us that you cannot go to China with Filipino passport?
mag-iba po kasi apelido namin ng tatay ko.
But can you confirm that he has two passports?
Based on our record, Mr. Chair, he was issued a Philippine passport. I think in subsequent hearings, we were showed in previous hearings, we were shown a copy of the Chinese passport of Mr. Pigay.
So, can a Filipino citizen own two passports? One Chinese and one Filipino passport?
As far as we are aware, Mr. Chair, that is not possible unless the Filipino is a dual citizen by birth, which happens in certain cases, Mr. Chair. Like for example, for Filipinos with Filipino parent or an American parent, and when they were born, they both had the Filipino and American parent, Mr. Chair. Then they are considered dual by birth, Mr. Chair. In which case, they are both Filipino and American at the same time. But if subsequently, Mr. Chair, for example, a Filipino born of both Filipino parents and subsequently reacquires another citizenship, then that Filipino loses the Filipino citizenship and won't be entitled to a passport until that Filipino reacquires through RA 9225 or the Citizenship Retention or Reacquisition Act, Mr. Chair. So in this case, I think it's important to know how Mr. Bigay, Mr. Chair, for example, attained his or gained his Chinese citizenship.
Mr. Chairman, if I may lang, briefly. Kasi in relation,
Related to the passport. Okay. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if you will notice, no, the birth certificate that was submitted to us nung kay Bigay, as a matter of fact, hindi ka talaga makakapag-secure ng Chinese passport because dito sa name ng father mo, unknown. So how can you secure a Chinese passport if your life certificate is unknown yung father niya? So paano ka nakakuha ng Chinese passport?
Sa pagkaalam ko po, niregister siguro po ako ng tatay ko na anak niya sa China, kaya po ako nagkaroon ng Chinese passport.
Anong ipilido mo sa Chinese passport?
Yang po.
Yang. Okay, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Congressman Flores?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do you use your Chinese passport when you travel, Mr. Bigay?
Yes, I do. Only to China po.
Only to China?
Opo.
But in all other countries that you've been to, you use your Filipino passport?
Yes po.
So how would you consider yourself? Would you consider yourself as Filipino or Chinese?
Filipino.
Filipino.